There is a special atmosphere in late-night trips through a half-empty city. Only a few people remain in the cabin, and the dim light of the bus lamps illuminates their tired faces. One stayed late at work, another is just heading to a night shift. Someone lives on the other side of town and has long been used to getting home via such late routes. Workers, revelers, couples in love, gardeners with seedlings, they are all frequent passengers of night flights. But sometimes, far stranger people are found among them. They usually get on at dark, deserted stops, and immediately head to the back of the bus, trying not to attract attention. At first glance, they are completely ordinary men and women. However, if you look closely, you might notice details that cannot be called normal. 6 fingers on their hands, vertical cat-like pupils, or ridiculous hats and scarves hiding the absence of ears. You might ask, why does no one notice this? It's simple. People rarely look up from their phones, especially at night when they are only thinking about getting home faster. In such moments, it is easy to miss a person with 2 left legs walking past you. But if you suddenly decide to look closely at the boarding passengers, you will very quickly catch their return gaze on yourself. They will look just as attentively, studying you. And in this case, it is better to turn away immediately. Bury your face in the window, in a screen, or simply lower your eyes. The main rule is, never look such passengers straight in the eye for too long. Otherwise, you might suddenly want to get off at the next stop. Get off together with them. But is it human? Where do people disappear? Article from the Secret World newspaper, issue dated June 27, 2009. A series of mysterious disappearances began in our city of millions unexpectedly. In a short time, more than 20 people vanished without a trace. Newspapers screamed about a maniac, urging people not to go out on the street after sunset. But the police investigation led to nothing. No evidence, no bodies, no leads, as if people simply evaporated. The failures of the investigation caused a scandal. Loud resignations of officials in 2 districts followed, as well as the departure of Lieutenant Colonel Andreev from the post of head of the city police department. Captain Sukhave, who arrived from the capital with his team, was appointed in his place. Work resumed. New interrogations began, and old materials were studied. And after some time, investigators managed to find 2 people from the list of the missing. The first turned out to be a certain Sokolov, a marginalized individual with a criminal record. He was found accidentally during a raid on hotspots. He had nothing to do with the disappearances and was released. The second person found, citizen Khnatyuk, proved to be much more interesting. A woman called the police, reporting a man in bloodied clothes staggering near her house. A patrol took the man to the hospital. Documents, a little money, and a phone were found on him. There was blood on his clothes, but not his. Forensics later established it was not human blood at all. Khnatyuk himself was in a severe psychological state. He kept repeating things about dark people on the bus who took his legs. He was sent to a neuropsychiatric dispensary with a diagnosis of schizophrenia. A few days later, he recovered enough to answer investigators' questions, but soon his condition deteriorated sharply. 2 weeks later, he died in his sleep from cardiac arrest. Pathologists were astounded. Khnatyuk's muscles seemed to be damaged from the inside, and traces of human teeth were found on the tissues. This was written off as a rare pathology, although none of the doctors had ever seen such a thing. The funeral was quiet, and who is behind the entire series of disappearances remains unknown. The police avoid comments. Residents are recommended to exercise caution and, if possible, to not appear on the streets late in the evening. We write article from the Secret World newspaper, issue dated September 2nd, 2009. Recently, a letter from our regular reader arrived at the editorial office. The text contained many errors, but we edited it only slightly. The meaning is preserved completely. According to the editors, this story may be directly related to the disappearances. Hello. Last week, something strange happened to me. I was returning late from work, got on an almost empty bus, and dozed off with one eye open. At the next stop, a guy gets on and sits right opposite me, although there are plenty of empty seats. He looks without blinking. He's dressed strangely, a bucket hat pulled down over his eyes. His skin is somehow pale, rough gray. Instead of ears, bulges under the headwear. And the eyes, like cats, reflecting light. I started feeling unwell, my breath caught, my thoughts got confused. I understand I need to get off at the next stop, otherwise something will happen. But I sat glued to the spot, looking at him. Suddenly, this guy got up and walked to the other end of the cabin to a man who was dozing by the window. He leaned over him. The bus just arrived at the stop. The doors opened. This strange person and that man got out. They stood at the empty stop and looked at each other. And when the bus started moving, they disappeared. They just vanished from sight. I got home, didn't sleep all night, felt sick. Now I tried to leave work earlier. And I advise you not to stay late. I think I just got lucky back then. I'm thin, but that man was stocky, strong. Maybe that's how he attracted the attention of that creature. From the editors. The story seemed too unusual to us, so we contacted the police to find out if a person fitting the description had disappeared recently. And indeed, a man named Ancon G, short, of stocky build, is listed among the missing. We asked the unknown author of the letter to contact the editorial urgently. We will continue to monitor the development of events and report everything new to readers in the following issues.